to give you the knowledge you've been missing. Welcome back to the channel. Put your emotions to the side. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You already know what time it is, man. I've been struggling trying to get this YouTube live stream started for almost 2 hours now, family. I'm gonna just push through with it. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to avoid just kind of pushing through and just hoping for the best. But I'm gonna just rock out with it. You know what I mean? So I can try to just stay a little consistent here, even though YouTube is really like trying their best to like shadow ban me or whatever they trying to do, man. We're gonna get into this topic tonight though, about the viral Russian man that's been going crazy on X for the past couple days, man. The Russian man that went over there to Africa and was running through them African women, man. They saying that low key, um, they saying he got HIV. You know, they saying he got HIV. So them African women, man, specifically over there in Ghana and Kenya, amongst other places, right? They taking major L's coming out of Africa right about now. Um, a lot of L's coming from the men over there as well, man. You got a lot of men that's like up in arms about this, like they had no clue that that they women was trash. You know what I'm saying? They had no clue that their women was Brad worshipers, even though I'm seeing evidence that a lot of the men are Brad worshipers and Becky worshipers as well. And you even got a lot of men out there that are actively um basically advertising their daughters as such to white men because they think that that's just some kind of come up. They're like it's just an automatic come up just based off of that pale melanin deficient skin. That is the come up. You know what I'm saying? This dude can be a straight dusty, hillbilly, redneck, yellow belly, whatever other kind of adjective to describe these trailer park trash palm colors, man. They could be all that, man. As he show up with that white skin, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? And they've already proven that over in Africa for centuries now, right? Um, a lot of people don't know, but in the very beginning of the transatlantic slave trade, the way it got started was that you had Portuguese and Dutch sailors that was sailing down from Europe, and when they would land over there on that west coast of Africa, that so-called Gold Coast, present day Benin, parts of Nigeria, definitely Ghana, right? They would sail down there. It would just be men. You know, they would get to them shores, and when they would hop off them boats, they would be malnourished. You know, coming from weeks long journey, coming from Europe, landing in an unknown, unfamiliar environment in a climate that they're not used to. A lot of times, them dudes was dying when they was hopping off them ships if they wasn't already, unalive before they got there. And what would happen a lot of times is that they weren't able to infiltrate certain societies and tribes in West Africa, particularly the Muslim societies and cultures and everything like that. They couldn't do nothing with the Muslims, all right? But they had no issue infiltrating them societies where the blacks or the Africans was still practicing like those old school African traditional, customs and stuff like that. They had no problem infiltrating them. A lot of times, a lot of them customs was actually did a lot of women worship, right? They was over there worshiping the women. They was looking at the goddesses and all that. A lot of kingdoms and everything that was reigned by the queen. If the queen was the one in charge, they had no issue infiltrating them communities. You know what I'm saying? And they would have the noble women from them communities come in, nurse these white men back to health. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, these white men would marry into these noble families of these specific societies in West Africa, right? The matrilineal type societies. They had no issue infiltrating them. And eventually they married into the culture. They produced children, right? The mulatto offspring, which would eventually become the intermediaries between the slave traders, because they were able to communicate with the village people in Africa due to the mother's bloodline, and then they was also able to communicate with the father's bloodline coming out of whether it was coming out of the Netherlands or Spain, Portugal, etc. All right. Now we established that this has been going on for a long time with white men showing up in Africa and having their way. It's been going on for a long time. And I just want to get that backstory to show that without that dynamic, there wouldn't have been a transatlantic slave trade that lasted hundreds of years. Okay. And to push this narrative a little further for my brothers that's listening, understand that a lot of the slaves that was being traded, the vast majority of them were men. And I'm saying this is going from the 1600s through the 1700s, all the way up until damn near right before they outlawed the transatlantic slave trade. That's when they started bringing over a more higher number and multitude of African women to bring onto the plantations to breed slaves. All right. Since we know everything else after that. Everything else after that is written. Everybody else gets it. That initial part though has always been cloudy. Like nobody really understands. That's the original. That's the history right there. That's how it happened. All right. So when you got these people like the Russian man going over to Africa now, and all he got to do is walk up to a woman and just say, "Hey, how are you? My English is not too good. I'm new here. You look good. Spin around and give me a 360. Let me see that booty. Oh, you look good. Why don't you come back to my apartment?" And the bitch is just giddy as a motherfucker, all teeth showing. They coming straight to the apartment, bro, all day long, just because the man's white. And he's over there, he probably dodging a draft or something. He's over there dodging a war. Check out how diabolical this is, right? You got Africans, right, that are getting manipulated and persuaded to come to Russia with hopes of getting regular type jobs. I don't know how they think that they got regular jobs going on like that, where they recruiting Africans to come over there in a time of war, but they going, you know what I'm saying? And then when they get over there, they getting tricked in a fight in the war. They getting tricked into getting on the front line. You know what I'm saying? They putting them out there in minefields and shit. You going out there first. You know what I mean? And it seemed like a war crime to me, man, but that's what's going on. And meanwhile, Russian can come over to Africa and just have his way with all them women, right? This is what's going on, man. He's not the first one, man. Mike Oliver was another one that went over there to Kenya and I think a couple other countries, maybe about a decade plus ago. He had HIV. He had full-blown whatever going on and just spread that shit all over the place, right? It's been going on, man. It happens over here too with FBA Keisha. If I got the FBAs up in here listening, it happens over here too, right? If y'all remember Jason Roger Pope down there in Florence, South Carolina, supposedly gave HIV to like 600 girls, right? 600 FBA women down there in South Carolina. Not tethers, probably some tethers in there, but whole lot of FBA though. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it, the thing that's crazy, and this is why I got to tie this into what we got going on over here in FBA land over here in America and all that, right? I got to tie this in over here because it's happening here too. It's happening over here too, man. Look back, right? Jason Roger Pope, man, they say he was running through a lot of teenage girls and shit. He's a grown-ass man. I don't know if it's true or not, but I know his defense tried to use the fact that he's supposedly autistic. So he's somewhat on a spectrum, right? A little slow. He's over here manipulating girls and shit to get on camera, butt naked. They shooting pornos and everything together too. He running around giving them HIV. Like the thing that gets me is like, I'm like, damn, it's a grown ass man. You running around with teenagers. I'm like, at what point did these girls think that he was creepy? Like he never came off as creepy to them. Like creepy, that's a word that they like to throw at like, older guys, right? Especially when they want to deal with younger chicks, at least grown women, right? Not underage chicks. Like he dealing with underage chicks. But you got black women out here that are called a grown man creepy for trying to holler at a grown woman who may just be somewhat younger than him. There might be an age gap there. That's creepy to them, but it's never creepy when it's non-black men though. What's up with that? Why it's never creepy when it's non-black men? Why I'm consistently seeing divestors and swirlers when they get offed, by a zaddy, a lot of times it be a big ass age gap between them. I mean, homeboy's 40, she's in her late 20s. That's not creepy. It's not. It's not. It's not creepy. Damn, that's not creepy now. Shit, that's interesting, man. Broken history. What's up? But yeah, man. So this is an issue that's going on globally, right? This is global. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I haven't been to Africa yet. I ain't been to Africa or whatnot, but I done been to South America, Central America. I've been to places with Afro Latinos, right? It's the same thing down there. It's in Latin America. Them black women are brand worshipers. In United States, brand worshipers. In Africa, they're keep it real because you'll have certain talking points, certain talking heads, FBAs that'll get on here and lie and act like FBA women ain't on that bullshit too. They sit there and lie. Now, to their credit, they may not be watched or as despicable as the African women, right? They may not be that bad, right? You're going to have some FBA women that ain't going to F with no white man. That does exist. You know what I'm saying? It's the minority. If it does, you would see more swirling, divesting going on. If I do got any Brads in here, you shouldn't be here. But I'll give Brad some pointers, right? If you want to go get some of that Keisha cookie, man, all you gotta do, especially in the United States, right? Because we already see in Africa, they can just be dusty and busted and all that shit. They just pull up, dick dirty, everything, and they just get free reigns. But over here, you might need to be Yizzo, we back, man. We back. You know what I'm saying? We back. They trying to fuck with my stream, bro. Soon as I try to give some advice to Brad, they want to chop the screen, man. Yeah, man. So like I was saying, man, YouTube trying to F with my stream, man. Like I was saying, though, if you a Brad up in here, man, if you want to spread your STDs and whatnot, man, all you gotta do is go get you some Jordans, right? And go get a couple snapbacks and fitted caps, you know what I mean? And be a little bit in tune with the culture, you know what I'm saying? Get on Chat GBT or something and ask them about some of the new slang and phrases of the black Americans, and you'll be good, man. Use that a couple times. All you gotta do is look halfway decent, smile. It may not be as quick as Africa, where you can just say, "Hey, come to my house," and then they'll follow you to your house. But I give it about 48 hours tops, though. I give you 48 hours, nigga. You should be swimming in some black pussy in 48 hours, nigga. All you gotta do is pretend to like her. You know what I'm saying? Just pretend, bro. It's so easy. You know what I mean? So that's the advice for Brad. I'm gonna get advice to black men though, right? Because this my main audience is black men. My main audience for y'all, man. But hey, listen, for y'all, man. And I know this is gonna sound harsh, maybe extreme for some of y'all. I say stop messing with these black women, especially black American women. Now, if you want to try your luck in Africa, go ahead. I don't recommend you trying. I don't recommend you pursuing no African chick neither. But you know what I'm saying? If you want to, go ahead. That's your prerogative. If you need that black woman, I say your best bet might be the Afro Latina. Go down there and find you one from South America that speaks Spanish, then don't speak no English. They the best ones, the ones who speak no English. Okay? And you're gonna have to learn you a second language or something. That's your best bet. If you just have to have you a black woman. I don't recommend you dealing with these black women here. They don't respect you for the most part. You know what I mean? For the most part, I don't respect you. They need to hear that white man tell them what to do. You can tell her, you can have all the good advice for Keisha. You can have everything that'll put Keisha's life in order, and you can give it to her. She's going to reject it. She will reject it. She's only going to accept it if it comes from another Keisha. Maybe, right? But she'll definitely accept it if it comes from Brad. You know what I mean? If Brad says it, that's when she really starts to think and reflect and say, "Oh, okay, I may have to change my attitude. Brad isn't feeling this shit." I'm serious. That's all they care about, man. They don't give a fuck about what you said. But wait until Brad say it. Brad say the same thing you said. Then all of a sudden, it's like a light bulb goes off, and then she might attempt to adjust. She might. Most of them won't do that though. You're not worth that. All right. Brad may be, but you're not. Remember that. So, well, I know tonight is a Special night for y'all. I know some of y'all cuddled up with your boo thing and all that. Keep an eye on her and shit. You know what I'm saying? I say keep an eye on the bitch. You know what I mean? She probably got her a work boyfriend. This is what they do, man. They selling pussy on the side. They doing all type of shit out here. They ain't not worth it. I don't understand how niggas are still wifing these chicks out here, bro. You supposed to hit it and quit. You know what I mean?